Welcome back. 3.3 million people in the country facing hunger due to the drought crisis. Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku is here with us to talk about the government's response plan to mitigate the effects of this to these 3.3 million Kenyans in 23 arid and semi-arid counties across the country. That's close to half, Waziri. That's a big number of counties. We will talk about, again, that response in a minute, but we've talked about the number of people affected, what they need. How about livestock?
Yvonne, also the entire of these 23 counties, livestock is also affected. It's not only human beings, but also livestock is seriously affected, and that's why government has invested money to ensure we have enough livestock feed, which comprises of hay and also supplements. That is a mixture of vitamins given to or supplying to the livestock in different parts of the country. And it's a very lengthy operation. Because these livestock, as you know, they are moving from one area to the other because they are chasing pasture.
How many of them?
I don't have a good figure at the moment, but I can check with my team on the number of livestock which are affected. But it's a huge number of, because remember these communities in Mandera, in Wajir, in Tana River, in Isiolo, in Garissa, all these communities, their livelihood depend on livestock. So we are talking about of more than 2 million hands of, whether it is cattle or camels or sheep and goats, it is in their millions. And they are moving from where they can be able to get pasture and water. So we are very having a distribution network in such a way that we don't drop this hay and livestock feed at county headquarters or sub-county headquarters, but where the livestock are. This is a program which started last week, which is moving on this week, and we are going to ensure all the way to when the rains come around end of March, we will be distributing enough livestock feed where the cattle or the hands of livestock are.
What happened to the livestock offtake program that was meant to
it is also
so that you don't have
it is also it is also in place. On Tuesday this week, the Cabinet of Kenya passed for resources to ensure that there is offtake program for livestock.
So how many? What's the plan?
We have set aside some money, which we are going to ensure that farmers or families in the areas which are affected by drought, they're not going to lose their livelihood because of cows dying or selling at a very
shouldn't that have been done
prices.
by now? Because I thought that was the idea of the livestock offtake program, which was to purchase them before we get to a crisis where the livestock can still fetch a good price while they're still healthy.
Yvonne, this is a program we started in July. Monitoring process has been ongoing from July last year, and we depend on government depend on the expert within the Ministry of Livestock as well as within the National Drought Management Authority. And this is a time these government institutions are advising that now we need to move in and start of taking livestock in some of these counties. We had a very good meeting with attendance of Kenya Meat Commission. And you know Kenya Meat Commission is managed by our military. And we have enough resources at the moment set aside by government to ensure we are going to buy
so do we know how many?
As much as they are willing, you know, it's farmers or household who are willing to sell their cattle, Kenya Meat Commission will be able to buy. We have enough resources as government to do that.
Okay, so no specific number, because I suppose all of this is driven by numbers. You know exactly how many livestock are, in need, how many you can offtake, how many are beyond that, how much money you're allocating specifically to the offtake program?
We have allocated more than 500 million Kenyan shillings so far. And this is a monthly allocation which will be ongoing within the 4.1 billion Kenyan shilling which was passed by cabinet this week. About close to 500 million will go to the process of taking the livestock.
Okay. Waziri, there are some who say that the response to drought in this country always seems to be crisis-driven, year after year, rather than preventive.
Yes.
Because now we hear 3.3 million Kenyans, in crisis, facing hunger. Why is this so, Waziri?
Drought is a situation which, of course, is forecasted by all the institutions, by Meteorological Department, by National Drought Management Authority, that we can be able to forecast and see the way things are. The vegetations are going down, there's crop failure, there is deterioration of livestock, food prices are going up because of lack of proper supply or availability of food. So it's a conglomeration of quite a number of issues which make the lives of households much difficult when there is drought. But as a government, we are addressing these issues in a very systematic manner. And that's why the issues of water is key. And Cabinet of Kenya passed the National Infrastructure Fund. We went through the National Infrastructure Bill, which has been forwarded to the National Assembly at the moment, so that we can be able to pool resources together.
Waziri, the 3.3 million people who are facing hunger now cannot wait for the National Infrastructure Bill that has, whose draft we have seen. My question remains, if the National Drought Management Authority, National Disaster Management Authority, the Met Department all predicted that the rains would fail and there would be crop failure, why is it that now 3.3 million people would have to face hunger? Did the government not prepare with all of these advisories in place?
Government prepared from the month of July. And that's why there has been relief food coordination. That's why we are talking about water tracking. That's why we are talking about rehabilitation of boreholes. And that's why we are talking about desilting of other dams, which is going on at the moment. That's why we have cash transfer going on across the Republic of Kenya, not only in the areas where we have drought, but also in areas where there's no drought. Those who are over 70 years and above, then get cash transfers. That's why, Yvonne, we are talking about livestock feed and vaccination of livestock. That's also why we are talking about the school feeding program. All these are programs put in place by government through different government institutions, through different government ministries, all in effort of ensuring those who are affected by hunger, by drought, are not becoming severely, or we are not going to lose lives because of drought.
But yet 3.3 million people are facing that. And let's speak honestly here, Waziri. Those 23 counties have been classified perennially as arid and semi-arid.
Yes.
So we know that the regions there are, have crisis year after year.
Yes.
Yet year after year we get to hear stories of 3.3 million. All those programs you mentioned are in place or going to be put in place. If they were already in place and the response was timely, would 3.3 million people be in crisis today?
Most of these 3.3 million Kenyans depend on the arrival comes from livestock. They are pastoralists. That's why the ministry, the Special Program Ministry, we have partnered with CARO, Kenya Agricultural Research and Livestock Organization, together with NOIS, to ensure from this year we are going to do farming of livestock feed, and we have livestock reserves across the counties which we know that there is cycles of drought again and again. So we are expecting from next year not to see the situation which we are seeing today in terms of livestock becoming emaciated and farmers or households losing value in terms of their assets. And these assets are livestock. So these are government efforts to ensure, instead of us distributing livestock feed when we have such a drought, the way we have food, National Strategic Food Reserve, we have enough food, Yvonne, to supply every corner of this country up to the month of May.
So why is it getting to these 3 million if our reserves are until May?
Food is getting to the people affected, Yvonne. We have data, we have statistics. I have been going around the country, the affected counties, ensuring that the food is getting to the last household which is affected. I have been in Marsabit, in Wajir, in Garissa, in Tana River, in all these places, to ensure there is proper distribution channels. But only that, last month, I gazetted county disaster response committees, county disaster management committees, so that we can be able to democratize the distribution of the relief and humanitarian assistance as a government. That is not only the DCCs or deputy county commissioners and the chiefs and the assistant chiefs and community leaders who are involved, but we have an institutionalized disaster response committee in every county who are going to be involved in distribution of these.
They're not involved yet?
No, yeah, I'm saying
they're going to be involved.
Last month, I gazetted 23 counties, the committees, which from last month are getting involved in getting the data, getting to know which household, in which field, in which village needs food. Who are these in these villages who may not have gotten their cash transfers, and for what reason? Who need supplementary feeding, for instance, for the young and mothers and elderly. All these are in place as we are talking.
How much cash is being transferred?
Every month, the elderly get 2,000 from government.
Okay, that's the national stipend that is given to the elderly.
Yes.
Is there a special cash transfer that is being given to the people, the 3.3 million needed?
No.
So nothing additional for them?
No additional for them. Is relief food, is assisting on water tracking, is also getting the children that we have food.
Help me understand, Waziri.
Yes.
All people above the age of 70 across the country get this cash transfer of 2,000?
Not all of them. Because there are those who are above 70, but some of them, they have pensions.
Okay.
Some of them have businesses.
But that's a national one, isn't it?
Yes.
And the people, the 3.3 million people who are facing starvation, don't they need more money? Does it seem fair that the one in Wajir or Mandera, Kwale or Kilifi, which is the severe, gets 2,000, the same as somebody in Nairobi? Do they get more because obviously they are in a more dire situation?
Yvonne, I want you to understand all support systems which government is putting in place. One of the support systems is to ensure there is relief food, whether you are getting your 2,000 or not. You are able to get your water, whether you are getting your 2,000 or not. For the young children, they are able to get fortified food, whether their household there is a members who are getting the 2,000 or not. The school where these children are going, they have enough school feeding program. whether their families have gotten relief food or not. If you sum it up, you see indeed government is spending huge amount of resources per household.
All right.
All of them tailored from different direction and different
so no additional cash transfers.
The other thing also, the same household is getting support to feed the livestock, you know, and not only feeding the livestock with hay, but also ensuring there is water for the livestock, there is hay, and there is supplement, minerals, fortified food for these livestock. All these are government effort, and they have been sustained for several months. They are going to be sustained for other coming months until we are able to get rain. But of importance, Yvonne, why we are talking about the National Infrastructure Fund, we cannot, what we are doing is not sustainable. We need huge resources so that we can be able to construct dams, water reticulation. Water infrastructure is one of very expensive project. This National Infrastructure Fund will go a long way in ensuring this problem, which has been with us for years, for decades, from 1963 up to now, will be a thing of the past once we institutionalize this. This is going to happen this year.
All right, I want us to take questions from our viewers. I'd like us to begin with George Sitati, who says, I hope we have it and we can put it up. Let's start with George. He asks, ask the CS why no anticipatory actions were taken despite the information about the looming drought being available months in advance. The prognosticators were clear that the drought was forthcoming. Why did they wait for it to materialize into a disaster?
Government did not wait for drought to be a disaster. Government had, through all these institutions I've talked about, the National Drought Management Authority, we knew, and that's why we kept on preparation from the month of July 2025 last year, and we have data to support that. And we have worked with other stakeholders, from the counties to Ministry of Livestock, the Ministry of Water, and also other development partners. One Food Program has been very helpful in Turkana. Red Cross is doing a good job as far as nutrition is concerned. Government has not been caught flat-footed as far as the drought is concerned. From the month of July to now, there has been activities, and we can be able to say what we did. For instance, what we did in December 2025, let's say in Marsabit, and exactly which sub-county, and how much we distributed in Marsabit in month of December 2025, and the actual date.
So you said,
and we can go all the way.
Yeah. So you said monies have been given since when? You were saying that you started the distribution of resources towards mitigating this since which month? July?
Distribution of the relief food
has
been ongoing throughout in the 23 counties. But we started scaling up from the month of July last year to now. In the counties which are severely affected, distribution of food is done twice every month, and there's a huge amount of food. So we are requesting the county commissioners, the DCCs, the chiefs and assistant chiefs, as well as the county disaster management committee, please, if you have information, let's have information as far as the household which are severely affected. This food is coming to these counties and sub-counties every month twice.
Ensure so that how much food is that? Because you mentioned a scale up from when? December?
From July last year.
From July.
From
so
July
how much food, say, relief is given every month from July?
Okay, from July to now. From July to now.
The amounts per month?
From July to now, we, in terms of rice, we have distributed 410,029 bags of 50 kgs of rice across 36 counties.
Is that in total from July to now, or is that per month?
From July to now.
Okay.
And we have more food we have more rice in our strategic food reserve.
Are you only giving rice? What else are you giving?
We also distributed beans.
How much?
184,000 bags of 50 kgs of beans across 36 counties. We have also distributed maize, 143,400 bags of 50 kgs across 36 counties. And we can tabulate this per sub-county per month from the month of July.
Has this been sufficient?
This food has been sufficient from the data which have been given by National Drought Management Authority. We have enough food in our strategic reserve, and every month we are assessing the situation.
Okay. So you say this amount that you have given in total from July last year to this year has been sufficient?
Yes.
So if it's been sufficient, then we don't have a crisis, do we?
Drought is not about food only. Drought is about water, access. There is a serious problem of water access. We have not been able to do enough water tracking. And that's why I said here, it is this week where we have mobilized all the assets from the military, from NYS, from our regional bodies to ensure that they are going to go to all these 23 counties distributing water.
Okay, so it's food, water.
So drought is not about food only.
Understood.
Drought is about food, water, even health.
Okay.
It's about food prices.
Okay, so if the food, you say, and we'll deal with the water and the health crisis separately, but if all this food that you say has been distributed so far has been sufficient, so these people are not facing hunger?
Yvonne, people are facing hunger.
So then
and that's
this
why,
is not sufficient.
And that's why government is doing this on a day-to-day basis. Tomorrow I will be in a place called Eldas in Wajir. I will be there to monitor that whether the food we are distributing in Wajir, specifically in Eldas, whether it's reaching to the affected. And in Wajir, is almost each and every household in Wajir is affected. Is to go there and monitor and ensure and put the message across that the government of Kenya has enough food. Government of Kenya is committed to save lives, to ensure nobody is going to die because of hunger. And we are going to do whatever it takes, that we are not going to spare any resources as far as saving lives of Kenyans.
All right.
Those who are in.
The reason I'm asking about the numbers is I just want to establish if there's any shortfalls or if there's any gaps in what you're going to do to mitigate them. But if you say that the food that you've supplied is sufficient, then there are no shortfalls, there are no gaps that need to be filled in terms of supplies of food?
What we need to work and streamline as a government is last mile distribution of food. Instances where we are taking food to Eldas, for instance, what I'll be doing tomorrow. But Eldas is a huge, it's a vast area. How do we ensure that someone who is 200 kilometers from where the distribution of food is getting that much needed humanitarian assistance?
So you say you have all of the assistance, it's the logistics that's the issue?
Those are the logistics which we have to put in place, which we have to perfect with the assistance of county disaster management committees, which are gazetted, also with assistance of county government and other leaders who are there. And not only other leaders, but also national, the GAO, the assistant chiefs and chiefs, to ensure we deliver enough food. But there are cases where we have enough food in DCC headquarters, but there is a household 200 kilometers from there, and they are not able to trek. They are not able to, or this food is not able to reach to those far corners. That is an issue which we are working on. We have moved in as a ministry to request all the resources in terms of transportation, because also the road network in some of these places is a bit challenging. But we are deploying all the assistance from different agencies. For instance, NACONEC has been distributing a school feeding program for a number of years. We put in all these resources to ensure last mile distribution of food get to the people who are supposed to, the food is reaching to the people who are supposed to get that food.
All right, let's take another question now from our viewers. This one is from Hassan Mwadzaya, who says, we face drought every year in Kenya because of a dysfunctional Ministry of Agriculture, arable land being converted to real estate, and concerned government institutions not planning to boost internal food security. Galana project is for export market. This is a comment. I will, can we get a question? Can Waziri tell us what is the lasting solution for drought? Why is it every time it's drought, but when the rain comes, it's floods, the rainwater disappears? Why can't we use or maybe harvest the rainwater? This is from Sankale Brown.
Very good question, and that's why I said we have to strengthen our landscape restoration project. We have to ensure we are doing climate smart agriculture in our country. We have to restore our rangeland, and also we have to invest in dams, we have to invest in wells, we have to invest in water harvesting system. But how do we invest in those water harvesting systems and dams and wells and water recreation if we don't put in place the National Infrastructure Fund? So that's why we are putting in place National Infrastructure Fund, getting our assets, liquidifying our assets and putting those resources in the National Infrastructure Fund. And we leverage in the market, we can get more resources so that we can be able to build water infrastructure.
All right.
That's how we'll be able to get out of this.
So we have no way of harvesting any of the water during the rainy season?
We have been harvesting water through simple ways at the dams. For instance, I've said we are doing desilting of other dams through the help of NYS at the moment in different parts of affected counties, in Tana River and other counties. But why do we rely on other dams at this era? We need to put mega dams for farming, for use of, for household use. And some of, mega dam will cost not less than 100 billion Kenya shilling. At the moment, where do we get 100 billion Kenya shilling to put in some of these mega projects? So we have to think out of the box.
All right,
and
I want us to take a break, and then we'll come back.
I want to repeat this again.
Because you want to talk about the infrastructure fund? You've made the point of that. Please allow me to take a break first. We will come back and talk about a lot more. Just a quick short break, and then we'll come back and wind up our conversation here.